Hi, this message is only for those who are ready for it. It is about the beginning and ending of suffering, as in total graduation beyond the realm of suffering. It is somewhat brief, but it may require your study to comprehend it fully. Again, you may not be ready for it. If so, new suffering may bring you to motivation sooner than you may expect. So you can store this where you can find it then, or you can continue now. Now, right this very moment, some worship their past as a treasured legend, a sacred myth, a holy idol. I have been one of those. I worship my past with the personal glorification of pride and condescension. I repressed my own envy of others, then resented them for having or doing what I envied. I denied my shame and condemned them for doing what I denied that I was also doing or would like to be. I stifled my instincts and then vented rage outwardly towards those who explored the instincts I stifled. I have envied the young and the healthy and the rich and the safe. I've criticized others as corrupt and foolish so that I might appear worthy of praise for my moral self-righteousness. I have made focusing on the sins of others into my religion. Look, that one fears, I said, afraid of frightened people. Careful! Those people are negative, bad, wrong, evil, divisive complainers, I said, complaining about them. Listen, this one is a deceiver, and that one is so naive, unaware of the obvious deceptions. How can they be so foolish? I said, pretending that I have never been anything like them. To all whose attention I could attract, I broadcast this message. Hey everyone, noticed how different they are from me, how much worse, and how much better I am than them. Yet I have been naive. I also have been deceptive, both when I was confident and sincere that the myths I had learned were true, as well as when I knew I was being deceptive. I have set myself apart from others with my pride, such as when I became a vegetarian and then despised people who ate differently from me. Oh my God, do they really eat monkey brains and dogs in that culture? That's horrible. Unless, of course, it's kosher and organic and grass-fed and cage-free, in which case it's okay, by which I mean whatever I would do. Oh my God, did you hear how they treat their children or their prisoners or their women or their elderly or their minorities or their political dissidents? Isn't it good to know that we are nothing like that? We may not be happy. In fact, I may hate my life and everyone in it, including myself in particular, but hey, at least we're not like them. My religious preferences were always the only right ones, even as they changed over time. My political preferences were always the only right ones, even as they changed over time. My pious intolerances were always the only right ones, even as they changed over time. My good reasons to suffer were always the only right ones, even as they changed over time. My version of the past, my past in particular, was always the only right one, even as it changed over time. So, here's the secret to the end of suffering, for those who are willing to explore it. There are only two kinds of people who have no suffering. First, there are those who have never had the experience of shame for a past. That includes human infants as well as all creatures who function in their animal nature. Second, there are those who used to have but no longer have the experience of shame for lots of past events, including being ashamed of their own actions and inactions, as well as other people's inactions and inactions, and finally and fundamentally, the fear of being rejected, as in condemned. They used to have and no longer have the fear of being rejected, as in condemned. Shame, by the way, is simply the fear of being rejected, as distinct from the fear of injury or death or illness or pain or inclement weather and so on. Suffering is that fear. Suffering is not in death or in challenges, so-called problems, and so on. Suffering is shaming. That is, imagining the experience of humiliation and then fearing that imagined humiliation. Humility is the end of suffering. Repenting, forgiving others of being the target of one's own erroneous perceptions, is the path to the end of suffering. Forgiving others of being the target of one's own erroneous perceptions is the path to the end of suffering. It is the ending of suffering. All suffering leads to humility. And resisting humility is the perpetuation of suffering. Second half.